Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, the 30th day of July. Today is National Cheesecake Day.
Love cheesecake.
Yeah, National Father-in-Law Day. I love my father-in-law. National Whistleblower Day and National Chili Dog Day. I love chili dogs as well. And this one's not such a fun thing. It's it's World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. And there are events going on all over the country, all over the world today. There's an organization out there called Operation Underground Railroad. That's OUR. And they have the Rise Up for Children events going on. And I've got more information about that in our show notes and a link to their page. It's a great organization working on a very, very serious problem. Also, today is a Thursday, so guess what we have? A Dear John letter.
Dear John letters.
Yeah, we got that coming up in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A study by JMIR Health and Surveillance found that more Americans are angry about the coronavirus than they are fearful of it. So it's that they're not so much afraid of it, they're just angry. They're angry that it's still going on. They're angry that...
I definitely fall into that category.
Yeah, there's some people that are angry that other people aren't doing what they're supposed to do. There's just a lot of people angry, more so than afraid. I've got a link to that study if you want to read all the details. It's very interesting. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A Georgia man wanted by police in connection to an undercover drug operation is found taunting officers on social media, daring them to come get me, and then he added another word at the end of it. 21-year-old William Reeves Durga posted a TikTok video Tuesday of last week, including a screenshot of a Facebook post from July 2nd by the police asking for information about his whereabouts, and that's when he said, "Come get me." Caption read in the video featured a shirtless, smiling and dancing Durga, along with music blaring in the background. As of early Thursday, the footage on his account has been viewed more than 3.4 million times. Police say he's being sought in connection with an ongoing Georgia Bureau of Investigation's undercover drug operation. Led to 7 arrests in June. Police are asking for anyone with information about his whereabouts to call them. So there you go. They're going to catch him because...
Oh, I would hope so.
It's not smart. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. If you're a fan of the Great British Bake Off, HBO Max is placing bets that you're going to like the Great Pottery Throwdown. It says the upcoming show seeks to find Britain's best home potter. Each season of the series follows 10 potters as they forge fantastic creations in a competition-style format. At the conclusion of each episode, one potter faces elimination after the judges' scrutiny and review of their chance to become Potter of the Week. So I wonder the winners if they take them and just throw their stuff on the ground. No, you don't win. It's Potter Throwdown.
Wouldn't it be fun to go on a show like that and have
with no
zero
talent?
skills
Yeah, I would
at
really
all?
be. That really would be kind of funny. A few days after The Kissing Booth 2 debuted on Netflix, the streaming service announced a third movie, Kissing Booth 3. And for those of you who saw Kissing Booth, you understand why we needed 2 more of these. I've actually seen it. Our daughter watched it.
I have seen it
I didn't
many times.
Yeah, she was a fan of it. So
yeah.
Anyway, they started airing the original as well, and both of them were in the top 10 on Netflix over the weekend. The entire cast is going to return for The Kissing Booth 3, so you'll see them all. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Now there's a fugitive of the week sought by the U.S. Marshal Service, and he was found sleeping on a porch in New Hampshire. John Cathcart was sought on multiple arrest warrants involving guns and drugs. Authorities say interviews led them to a porch in New Hampshire where they found him. He was arrested without incident. He was just sleeping on the porch. Like Jennifer from Back to the Future 3.
Right.
Just sleeping on the porch. I guess it was also Back to the Future 2. So it was the whole darn...
Right.
She got there too. And okay, moving on.
Anyway.
Ford unveiled an electric Mustang that has 7 different motors and 1,400 horsepower. So there's a bunch of different motors in it that power the wheels and do what they need to do, but a lot of horsepower. So folks are darn excited. Survey says we're washing our hands more than we did before coronavirus. So... a lot of folks have gotten the memo, and they're washing their hands a lot. Talked to a guy the other day. He said, I don't like it when people tell me to do stuff, because he wasn't wearing a mask. And I said, so do you wash your hands a lot? He said, I haven't washed my hands since February. So, I don't know if he really has or not. But a nutritional study finds that less than 15% of Americans eat enough fruit. Anybody shocked by that?
Yeah, we hardly ever
hardly ever eat fruit. We need to eat more fruit. A mysterious 450-foot blue hole off the coast of Florida has scientists looking for signs of intelligent life off the coast of Florida. Well, they're also looking for signs of intelligent life in Florida. But the 450-foot blue hole, I think, is absolutely fascinating. You see the photos and the images and stuff online?
Yeah, it's actually beautiful.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Rent has fallen in New York City for the first time in over a decade. It's because of coronavirus. There are people who let their lease go and they said, no, I'm moving home. I'm moving back, out of the city, getting out of here. So they've got so many vacancies that they finally said, okay, well, let's maybe bring the price down a bit. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is rolling out a $10 million anti-obesity campaign that encourages healthy eating. So apparently it's not just the United States that has issues with that, because, they're doing that now in England. And NASA released high-definition images from Mars that show the red planet as you've never seen it before in high definition. And if you want to see the photos, I have a link to that. It's in the show notes. And when you look at them, you'll go, wow, those photos are out of this world. See what I did there?
I see what you did there, yeah.
This is where you're supposed to laugh.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I don't think you did.
It was a sympathy laugh, but I laughed.
Roll tape. Check that. Did she laugh? No?
I did.
And lightning struck the Statue of Liberty during Wednesday night storm last week. And I don't know. Has that happened before? Does that happen often?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. Now I really kind of wonder if that's like a common thing. I don't know. Now I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. And it's time right now for Dear John Letters.
Dear John.
And our Dear John letter for today. Here we go. Dear John, I've heard the phrase, good fences make good neighbors. So, do bad fences make bad neighbors? I think the answer may be yes. Our neighbor's fence is pretty old. it's starting to fall apart. And when I'm mowing, I have to constantly move the falling boards.
Oh.
If they would fall on their side of the fence, I wouldn't mind, but they're always falling our way because of the way the fence was built about 30 years ago. I talked to the neighbor about the fence last year, and he said he was going to have it removed or replaced. I've never seen anyone come to look at it. I wanted to ask him about it again, but my wife told me to leave him alone. What do I do? I have a stack of fallen boards lying next to his fence, and the pile is getting higher. Should I say something, or should I just keep avoiding the problem? Signed, Fence Foe. Here's one of the things you could do, and this is something that I did. We had a fence. We rented a house, and it wasn't a fence that we owned. We were renting the house. I didn't have to do anything with it, but I had boards that were falling off because it was getting old, and I just took some screws, and I put the boards back on, and it was fine. And I understand you're probably going, I don't have to do that. It's not my fence. But here's the thing. If you get permission, if you just go over and say, hey, I noticed the fence hasn't been removed, would you mind if I just attach the boards again? Because if you attach the boards, if they were nailed on 30 years ago and they're falling off.
But if they're rotten and they're unsightly.
It would be less unsightly to at least have all the fence boards back up. So I'm just saying, if you want to have a temporary solution that's not going to bother you, if you go along there with, it'd probably take you 10 or 15 minutes and cost you less than a couple dollars. And then at least you would have your problem fixed. Because like you're saying, if they were falling his way, you wouldn't care. So you don't mind that there's a fence there. You just don't like that you have to keep, mowing around boards or moving them before you mow. So what do you think? Should he talk to the neighbor, or should he just keep dealing with the problem, avoiding the problem?
I would probably, load up all the neighborhood rabbits and cats and just kind of encourage them to go through the gaps in the fence so that they're all over in his yard. And then he'll put up his fence.
So Heidi's going to do some sort of Pied Piper check to gather up all the...
Or just go to your local... Spend what? How much are baby ducks? Not much. You spend some money on a bunch of baby ducks and just let them go into the fence.
A couple of screws would be a whole lot cheaper now. I'm just saying, ducks. You
but nowhere near as much fun.
Grow these ducks. You got to.
You don't have to.
Oh yeah,
they'll be in the neighbor's yard.
Sure. I don't think you would do the duck trick.
Or do that first and then put up the fence board so they can't get out.
No, I think that's what I would do. And if you want to talk to the neighbor, but here's the thing.
Maybe a goat.
Here's the thing you got to keep in mind. You have no idea what's going on in that neighbor's life. So it doesn't say if it's an older person or a younger person. He's saying in here that when it was built 30 years ago, and I'm assuming that person has been there 30 years, but I could be completely wrong. It could be somebody that just moved in. We don't know.
Yeah, if it's an elderly person that can't do it, then offer to help.
And I don't know, even if it's not an elderly person, it could be a person who just lost a loved one that maybe you don't know about that, but you don't know what they're going through. So I think if you just go over and say, hey, you're going to fix this fence or not? And then you could find out, you'd have to eat like a bunch of humble pie when you find out, well, I'm sorry, I just got done planning 19 funerals or whatever's going on. I mean, how awful would it be to find out why they've been really busy and preoccupied? Again, you could spend a couple of dollars on some screws. You could do a temporary fix, at least fixing your problem until the fence does get removed. That's what I would do. That's my vote.
And if you find out they're doing it just to be ornery, I'm sure baby goats aren't that expensive.
I say fix the fence. Heidi says somehow get a bunch of animals. There's more than one way to do this, apparently. All right. Hey, if you'd like to get a Dear John letter submitted for next week, I would love that. And I like the fun ones. All these serious ones are a little tougher for me. But you know what? Heidi had fun with this one too, I guess. You can chime in with your answer for Fence Foe on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And that's also where you would submit your letter for next week. So if you've got a Dear John letter, we always respond through Facebook, so you'll always get an answer. And if it's one that we can put on the air, we'll put it on the air as well, and then you get a lot of great answers. Again, at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There's an American town with a population of 1. Manawi,
we talked
Nebraska.
about
Have
this. We
Yeah,
did.
it's the only town in the U.S. with an official population of 1 person. And she owes taxes to herself. She's in her 80s. She's employed as the village's mayor, librarian, and bartender.
We talked about this.
Bartender?
It
to
was
who?
a population of 2, and her husband passed away.
Really? So apparently you know more about this than I do, and I've got the story in
And
front
it's
of
a
me.
bartender to herself.
Apparently she just serves herself drinks. You do that too.
I do.
Heidi is the best bartender in our house. Well, she's the only one. This has been today's fun fact. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline, Italy. Authorities in Italy are investigating a sex cult being run by a 77-year-old man known only as the Doctor.
Alrighty then.
They have his name, but that's what they're calling him, like in the news and stuff. And I gotta tell you, today is again, it's a special day. When I say special, not special in a good way, but it's a day that we should all pay a little more attention to this. It's World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. And Operation Underground Railroad, their website, OUR, so Operation Underground Railroad, rescue.org. You can get all the details on what they're doing today for this Rise Up for the Children event. Unbelievable. I was looking at some of the details on there. Yeah, there's some weird people doing some weird things. So if you'd like to shine the light on what's going on, again, that website. And I've got a link to it in our show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Time now for a little bit of weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A man who deputies say pulled a gun on a customer at Walmart during a face mask dispute is now behind bars. 28-year-old Vincent Scavetta is being held on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and improper display of a firearm. Incident happened at a Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. It says here he pushed his elderly father around in a wheelchair. And there were photos of the incident in an effort to identify him. He reportedly pulled a gun on a shopper and his daughter in the electronics section because they came up and said, "You should be wearing a mask." He then cursed at the shopper. The father asked Scavetta not to curse in front of his daughter, so the guy in the wheelchair knew better. Told deputies the shopper got into his face and threatened him. That's when he pulled his Smith & Wesson, pulled it out. Now he has a court date set for Thursday, so today. So that is just not a good plan. Not a good plan at all. That is definitely.
But don't get in people's face. Mind your own business.
It's for everybody involved. Just
Yeah.
everybody just grow up. This is today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. We almost could just change these segments to what happened at Walmart this week, because here's another one.
Okay.
Weber County, Utah man charged for allegedly using a Walmart photo center to print pornographic images.
Oh, that's super.
To send to his friends that are locked up, according to him. John Hughes, not the director.
Right.
He reportedly printed some images at a Walmart, Ogden, Utah. Witnesses told police the girls in the images appeared to be underage, and that was probable cause. Anyway, he told police he was printing these images to send to his homies who were locked up. That's a quote, by the way. He denied that the pictures were of underage girls. Probable cause issue says he committed an offense while on probation or parole. It was also in a vehicle that fled from the scene. It was also in a vehicle? Oh, that fled from police. I see. So they took off when the police were called. Either way, just a weird thing. And again,
super classy.
Yeah, such a weird. And what a great day to share it, though. Again, today is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, and I've got a link in our show notes that has more details on that whole thing going on today. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for Fake News or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, fake news or Florida? 6 alligators blocked traffic for over an hour and a half while they played in the road near Orlando. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
It's fake news.
Yeah.
I love the look on your face.
Alligators don't really play.
I love the look on your face. I made that up, by the way. I am not good at this. The look on her face was just priceless. You don't have a good poker face, by the way. No one's ever told you that before. I can tell exactly what you're thinking just by looking at you. And that one, she's like, no way is this true. This has been today's Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Here's a headline. A young boy wins a bike, and then he gifts it to his neighbor who doesn't have a bike.
Oh.
How cool is that? A young boy with a heart of gold gave his brand new bike to his neighbor because the neighbor kid didn't have a bike.
Oh, how sweet.
Bike Planet of Memphis donated a bike to celebrate the grand opening of their new Parks and Recreation Bike Park, Covington Parks and Recreation Bike Park. Chase, the youngster, won the bike, but he had bigger plans for the prize once he got home. He gave it to his neighbor Daniel. And my mouse is not working very well here.
And he could have very easily kept the new bike and given his old one to the neighbor, but he gave the brand new one to the neighbor kid.
It's
that
really
is
cool.
So
This
sweet.
is really cool. It says they wrote, does everyone remember Chase? If you were there, you'll never forget how his face lit up when he won the MT bike at our Bike Park grand opening Friday, donated by our friends at Bike the Planet. Okay, that's the company. Bike the Planet of Memphis. Well, it turns out Chase has a heart of gold. While he got home, he gave the bike to his neighbor Daniel, who did not have a bike. So there's 2 photos on here. A photo of him winning the bike, and there's a huge smile on his face when he won the bike. And then there's a photo just a little lower on the page of him giving the bike, and I think the smile on his face is just as big.
And
he
love that
is an adorable
so
young
much.
man, and I think it's really cool that he did this. I've got a link to the story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show, and while I have an extra 10 seconds here, I want to remind you, again, Heidi was making fun of me because I talked about this a lot today, but I couldn't believe, the more I read about this, how big of a deal this is, because it's the thing that happens in the shadows. But today is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. If you'd like to find more information, we've got links to this in our show notes for today. But their website is ourrescue.org.